why quillins must have been really good for catching other people's swords and
Yeah,
protecting yourself. Now that's a more classical looking mace
yeah,
of the, when I say classical, I mean
yeah,
15th, 16th century.
yes. Oh, here you go,
Really.
Pete. We have
Oh,
now a
that's a
good,
really good picture of it.
yeah.
That is a total show off piece. Look at even the handle is really elaborate. I mean, this is real show off. So that leather bit on the Ricasso, that's a really practical thing. Um, that's actually an axe and a pick. That downturned quillen is a pick.
It is, of course, it's a pick. Yes,
It's
yes,
quite
yes.
totally over the top. Oh, dude.
So you can hold
Well,
it on the blade and use it as a pick then, right? Exactly.
yeah. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, that's just so crazy. Even the little, miniature quillions at the bottom of the ricasso, notice they've got a double curve to them.
Yes,
There's
they do.
nothing about this sword that is simple. Oh, I'm looking at that armor.
Yeah, very
Look at the
nice.
engraving on that.
Very nice.
And that raised rope pattern in a spiral on the shoulder. That's so nice. Again, that one's got interlinked things so that the parts of the armor rotate within joints to give it as much protection as you possibly can in the arms. Lance rest, so you could use this on horse. Oh, looks, even though it's
Ah,
highly
Pete.
decorated.
Look, do you remember that shield which was bent
Yeah, yeah,
spike? Now
exactly.
this is in position.
Yeah, don't leave that on someone's chair. Uh, but okay, see the similarity between these type of rotellas, I think they call that, and say Eastern shields. I think maybe because of the Italian experience with the Ottomans and before then the Mamluks, that they picked up ideas of shields that they suddenly realized even though we prefer this type of shield still works. And
Yes.
particularly under certain circumstances, I think the Spanish exploited shields and swords
Yes, they
in
did.
that early period.
They did.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, but that is a very nice armor. I mean, I'm not talking just about the decoration, but it looks quite practical. It's got
Yes.
lots of coverage on the
Yeah.
shoulders and the armpit area.
Yes. Beautiful.
I
Beautiful.
mean, it's not the whole armor, but it's certainly you could wear that by itself. I'm sure it would work.
Yeah.
And then you've got a really nice helmet. Again, those coxcomb things, I think, had a lot of benefits.
Yes.
I'm not, like I'm not an expert on it or anything,
Look
but
at these
they look
people.
very practical. So I'm trying to see that. That's really nice. I'm just trying to pick out what animals are, in that kind of decoration on the breastplate. There's
Yeah.
different animals on either side,
Um,
and I just don't know what they are. One looks a bit like a cow, and the other looks a bit like some kind of feral badger. I don't know.
I don't know.
You've got, and the
Yeah. Very,
Nosendun. So I can't read that. It's a bit hard, but
very nice. Again, some very utilitarian daggers.
yeah. So a stiletto at the top, and
Yeah.
essentially just a dagger at the bottom. But
Yeah.
the dagger is very, very strong.
Very strong.
I mean, I think most stilettos are 19th century. I could be wrong about that. I just listen to random people talk about things sometimes. I know. Another nice two-handed sword.
Hmm.
That armor again is set up for using a lance on horseback.
Yeah.
Um, I think we saw this before, to be
We
honest,
see. Yeah, we
because
saw this
I
before.
remember that enormous
Yes.
rapier. And here's another. See, look at that beautiful riveted mail.
Yeah. Yeah. This is
Rivets are
something
standing
nice to
right out.
watch and to see.
Mm.
And now again, so many rapiers,
Oh well, they were very popular, and elegant gentlemen used them,
Yeah.
and broads in the town.
Look at this, Pete.
See, this is what a rich person has.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it not only performs the function of a handguard, but it just shows off. how rich and talented, or what good taste you have.
Look at this beat.
The one in the middle says, I'm going to kill you. It's very, very practical. Even though it's decorated, it's nicely decorated. This one is a little bit more whimsical. Um, lots of hand protection there.
Yeah, lots.
And you can, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can see the tang going up in the pommel
Yeah,
because the
it
pommel's
does.
open. You can see the tang
Yes,
running up to where that nut is on the
yes.
top.
It's always full tank. Yeah. Look at this one beat.
Oh, isn't that spectacular?
It's
That's an
unbelievable.
interesting wheel lock. Is that one of the ones with the, yes, like a little chain that
Yeah,
wraps around the, so when you wind the key, and that's the key at the bottom there,
yeah,
it has a little suspension loop. It also incorporates, I think it's a screwdriver at the back.
yeah.
Um, so this is a multi-tool. But when you wind it up, like a little chain wraps around that and pulls that spring up, which gives the um, storage of energy so that when you put the cock over and
Yes.
pull the trigger, that wheel spins around. There's iron pyrites in the cock. A whole array of sparks comes off and sets the powder on fire, and it fires. But I must admit that stock does not look comfortable to hold. It looks really impressive to wear. You could imagine somebody wearing that and showing off their wonderful pistol,
Yes.
because this is a pistol you'd wear on your body. It's
Beat,
not
look
a
at the
horse.
dragon here.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've got this classic Western dragon. I think it's about to down a swan or something, some kind of
Yeah,
bird. Um, but yeah, that's really well, it's very good metalwork. In the carving is very good. The design is really quite good.
yeah.
Even the kind of spanner part has a little dragon mouth holding the spanner
Yes.
socket that comes out. So here we've got a cut down glaive of some
Great.
sort.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very functional looking. Judging by its length, so it's longer than the breastplate and the helmet combined.
Yeah.
Because remember, if you put them together, so
Yes.
we're talking about something that's about the blade is about that long.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's a serious piece of
yeah,
equipment.
yeah.
Um, yeah, you wouldn't want somebody who knew how to swing that. You would be doing serious damage to
Oh
you, I think.
God, yeah. Yeah, very nice ones. Look at the this one I was
Ah,
looking for. This looks like that
yeah,
Sasanian mitten. Do you
it
remember
does.
me?
It does.
I was looking for this one. Yes.
Yeah. When you've come up with a good idea, it sometimes is reinvented, sometimes it just passes down the ages.
Yes.
But it's just a good practical. But it's pretty too. I mean, it's
Very
not just.
pretty.
I mean, that's all engraved and everything. But even if it wasn't, even if that was plain steel, that would look pretty because of the
Sharp
little
images.
scalloped edges on the plates and everything.
God, really
No,
beautiful.
that's a real piece of
Look,
good
Pete.
quality. Yeah. So probably. So that basically, when you closed your hand, that goes all the way
Yeah.
around. It gives you really good protection,
And look at
and you
here.
can't crush it. I mean, the separate fingers, things can go very badly wrong. But this design, much, much tougher. Now, that goes all the way up to the elbow by the looks of things.
Yeah.
And we've got extensive palm coverage. See, another piece of extremely good metalwork.
Yeah.
You've got to remember that people doing this or designing this work, you know, serious, serious artists.
Serious artists. Look at
Yeah,
this
you
one,
just
Pete. Oh, breastplate. Unbelievable.
yeah, yeah. This is getting to the state. Well, this is 17th, late 16th, early 17th
Yes.
century, something like that.
Oh, this is the
But
blade
that,
we talked about.
yeah, and look, even the blade is decorated,
Yes.
and one of the bumps looks as though it's a lion's face or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So even at every level, they put a lot of work into that, and it's still that would be a seriously effective. They look like shoulder guards of some sort.
Yes.
Yeah,
Shoulder guard.
but every part of that would be incredibly dangerous.
Pete, look at these helmets.
Oh yeah, grotesque helmets. It's like something out of manga or something like that. We've got
Yes,
the demons.
exactly. It's
But we've got to
unbelievable.
remember just how much variation there was, and
Yeah.
how towards the end, when armor was becoming less important,
Yes.
people just let their imagination run free.
Yes.
Whereas that looks totally functional. It's got beautiful engraving in vertical bands and everything like that, but everything looks like it works on that. And that helmet, though, I would not. I mean, if you had claustrophobia, there's no way you could wear it. But I would think that this is a pretty hard helmet to live with. Uh, Still, it's quite nice, and I think extremely protective. This is a thing. Um, I've talked to people and people I respect about this concept of, say, dodging arrows. And my answer to that is, if you're in a group of people and another group of people are shooting at you and you're wearing a helmet, you can't see the arrows. You don't know which ones are coming towards you.
No, you don't.
If there's 100 arrows flying through the air, how do you know which one to dodge?
No.
It's, it's, and I have a feeling that dodging arrows would be seen as a bit cowardly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but if you read what the French knights said when they were fighting the English, they were very insulting about the effectiveness of the arrows until they died. Um, it's like there's a famous Napoleonic general. When they were in Russia, they were attacked by, I think, Bashkirs, mounted archers, and one of the French generals, oh, these are just knitting needles that can't do any damage, and he got shot through the leg. That's damage. And actually, Bashkir arrows were really quite big. Sometimes I wonder at some of these reports about whether the person writing the report had actually been there. Or was he taking dictation from somebody else and just thought, like, I'll make this sound more interesting and
Yes.
added a bit.
Look at the mace
Like,
speed.
oh, yeah. Now, see, that is more art
Yeah.
than weapon. But on the other hand, if you got hit by it, you wouldn't know that it was very artistic. You would
No,
just feel
exactly. I
very
just want to
effective.
say that with all those spikes there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be effective. Oh,
Pete, in Ukrainian museum, we saw examples of this, right?
yeah.
We
This is
remember.
the Poles were fascinated with scale armor in the 16th,
Yeah.
17th century,
Yeah.
and they, because of what they called the Sarmatian period, where they believed their ancestors were the Sarmatians, and there were Sarmatians on Trajan's column, and a lot of Polish noblemen went to
Yes.
Italy on the Grand Tour. Um, and so then they started making armor like this, which was, it'd work against sabers. It obviously, unless you had really thick steel breastplates, they didn't work against guns. And the Poles quite like using guns as well. But but this one isn't a scale armor; it's an embossed solid breastplate,
Yes.
which goes to show that you can want to look like you're wearing scale armor, but you don't feel like it's safe enough. So you have your armor emboss it.
This is yeah. This is this one.
Yeah, that is really nice, and it's got a Bergenet style helmet, I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
kind of like a cross between a Bergenet
Yeah.
and a
And a
kind of
glaive.
Zishaga. But oh yeah, that glaive is, oh, they're matching too, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's two glaives basically the same.
Yes.
Um, Gee, they'd be awful if somebody swung it at you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were really lucky, you could get out of the way. Um, so a star on his shield.
Mm.
Um, Again, this is a quite a practical looking armor.
Yeah.
I might be only saying that because it doesn't have legs.
Mhm.
And as I say, people that have spoken to me about wearing plate armor when they were, relaxing, uh, really felt their legs worse than anything else.
Yes.
But you can make the legs thinner, so there's no reason that,
Yes.
I don't know how often people retract in the legs, particularly on horseback, because your legs are
Yes.
closer to infantry. two nice stirrups there with looks like swiveling
Yes.
uh, strap holders, which is you can still buy these in Portugal. I think
Yes.
they're still being made,
Look at the
and they're
dagger
decorative as
bit.
well. Oh, that's another shelf with another one with slots cut in it.
Yes.
I mean, clearly there was a period where this was considered to be high fashion. Um, I don't think it was meant to have any particularly practical purpose. It was just
No.
meant to look nice, and it
No.
does. And
Very
then you've got this over the top hilt and guard. I mean, that's so
big look.
decorative. Wow. This is really good work. The gold work is exceptionally good, isn't it? And a partisan behind him,
Yeah.
and that partisan on the other side that's got like a little shield and a cross hatch, like a
Yes.
portcullis like shape.
Very nice.
These are quite extremely. Oh, here we've got. So this is that's Michele. Well, the bottom one is Michele lock, I think.
Yeah, it is.
The
Yes.
top two are flint locks. Um, they all look quite effective. The very top one is probably doesn't look it though. Normally, that kind of stock is on a large caliber
Yeah.
gun
Yeah.
to provide you with some kind of
Absolutely.
protection. But that one doesn't seem. Its barrel seems to be the same size as the. I mean, the one at the bottom, the Michele one,
Yes.
looks smaller. Stilettos.
Stilettos. Very
Um,
stilettos. And now here you
yes.
go again, and we are going to see a very beautiful thing here. Let me see. That
The
Italian one, right?
Cinquedara. Yeah,
Cinquetta,
this
right?
is Italian. Uh, this was a civilian style wear around the town type of
Yes.
short sword, large knife.
So beautiful.
And this is a top level one, isn't it? So it looks like it's either coral and lapis lazuli or um, red agate,
Yes.
something like that, and
Yes.
lapis lazuli. Whatever it is, semi-precious stones,
Yes,
beautifully put
definitely. Look at this one, please.
together. See, this is another. Is this? Is there something going on with that blade aside from the fact it's a wavy blade?
Yes.
At the top, it looks like there's something complicated going on as well
Yes.
on the Casso. Either it's something decorative or somewhere there's a gun on it.
Okay, we saw that
Here's
one.
another one. See, I haven't seen Synchronatus with and I'm probably mispronouncing it because it's late at night here and I'm living on mango smoothie.
Beautiful.
Um, yeah, the ones with inlaid stone like this, I've seen a lot of really pretty ones, in books and things. I haven't seen them in person, but inlaid stones like that, that's really impressive.
Look at the
Oh,
helmet.
there's a. Now, what is that?
Very nice.
So this one doesn't have any breaths in the visor. There's no holes to breathe through. So you got to hope you don't wear glasses because you're breathing through your eye slots. uh, but on the other hand, it would be really hard to damage your head. Oh,
It's
so a
unbelievable.
very nice dagger with a handle showing a nice
Yeah.
woman holding something, and a blade that's designed to go through the gaps in armor. It's a
Yes.
very serious blade. Oh, that's so pretty, isn't it?
Beautiful
Okay,
collection of European shields. Yeah.
wouldn't wouldn't if you had something like that, wouldn't you hang it on your wall so
Yeah.
everybody visiting you would see it?
Sculpture.
It's
It's a
so
work of
beautiful.
art. So
And this
beautiful.
is done in steel. I mean, in the 19th century, they did this in silver, in platters and things.
Look
So
at the.
cup-hilted rapiers, which are famously Spanish, but not always.
Yes.
Really, the workmanship on that one on the bottom is incredible. I'm not saying just because of the piercing that, because the one above it's got a lot of figural work, but that's a really good design in the sense that
Yes.
it's strong, it catches your eye. The one at the top, possibly a little bit over the top, so to speak, but it looks
Yes.
like it's got a very nice blade. So, whichever way it happened, you don't argue with these guys.
Look at the beautiful cup field.
Yeah. I've seen people talking about these that do HEMA and things like that. and quite a few people actually quite like them.
Yes.
They were popular in Spain for an enormously long time, and in Italy. And Spain and Italy were famous for the quality of their
Yes.
swordmaster.
Absolutely.
So, if they liked them, there was a good reason.
Pete,
Oh, there's a
look at this
left-handed dagger.
dagger.
Oh, yes. That's the classic one. Look at the two curved little
Yes.
things.
Yes.
That's so pretty. Now I'm going to start talking about the bit on the other side, top right hand corner. This is what's called a ring bit,
Yes.
classically used by Arabs and Persians, but also used in the West. They were used in Spain as well.
Mm.
Uh, they were considered, certainly in the 20th century, to be one of the harshest forms of bits. But if you read 19th century accounts of how they were used, um, they have no leverage because the part in the mouth is the same length as the part that the reins are attached to. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Whereas, say, a regular curb bit is 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. So there's a lot, you can put a lot of pressure on the horse's jaw. With these, you can't really. Um, but because the ring goes around the jaw, it was always considered to be very cruel. What
Yeah.
they really do is the part that goes in the mouth touches the horse's palate,
Yes.
and the horse feels that straight away. So you don't have to do very much to convince the horse that, oh, stop, go. So when you want it to go, you loosen the reins and it stops touching the horse's palate, and the horse knows, there's nothing stopping it. When you want it to stop, because you're holding the reins with your fingers, you're not, you know, you just give it a little tug. Only works if the horse is trained that way and the rider's trained that way. So a bad rider can do damage with this. Um, the spurs, wow, that's a bit over the top, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost like the spurs and the left-handed dagger were
Yes, I
they're on
just want to
speed.
say they're on suits. Look at this. Everything fits, right? You see that?
Yeah, this is lovely stuff. I mean, it's weird. The left-handed dagger's almost got a stiletto blade. Look how narrow that blade
Yeah,
is.
yeah, it is very narrow, very narrow.
But on the other hand, it's really well designed for parrying. It's got,
Yeah, yeah, it
like
is.
wide quillins. The spurs, the little points on the wheels look very sharp.
Yeah, they do.
But as I said, I don't think they were usually meant to be. I mean, in North Africa, sometimes they did it in training. They gave horses a hard time with the spurs so that they would never have to do it again. So here we've got a wheel lock.
Mm.
Assuming that that's complete, it's a wheel lock where the wheel lock wrench, the turning thing for winding it up, actually put a square tongue into there and you turned it. But there could be used to be a square piece that came out and it's gone.
It
Um,
is.
really beautiful. This Michele
Okay.
lock,
Yeah,
this is popular in the Eastern
yeah,
Mediterranean.
yeah. Very.
Uh, it's quite efficient. Now here's a wheel lock pistol. This is almost certainly a horse pistol,
Yeah,
and see how the square piece pokes out of the middle there? That's what the spanner
yeah.
connects to.
Yes.
That's why I think that maybe it was missing from the other one rather than it was
Yeah,
designed the other way. It's got
exactly.
a good trigger guard. Um,
Mm.
it- they often had very straight handles, so you kind
Yes.
of held them like that.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You see that?
These are quite interesting.
Very interesting.
So we've got a couple of wheel locks, a couple of, well, at least a Michele gun with incredible decoration on it. It
Yes.
looks like it might be some kind of target shooting gun. I
Yes.
say that because it's got a very slender barrel.
Yes.
Um, the
Mm.
fact that it's got such an ornate stock
Yes.
is pretty amazing. I haven't
Pete,
seen one
we have
quite like that
come
before.
to an end with Hermitage Museum.
That
Next
was
time we
amazing.
meet, we go to other Russian museums, but Hermitage is now over. Look how many sessions we had on Hermitage alone. God.
Yeah, that was spectacular. And it's the full range of armor from the far east to the far west. Really amazing. Uh, and the level of, because you're giving it to the Tsar, the level of craftsmanship is superb.
All of them top notch, right, Pete? From
Yeah, I mean, this
Middle
is the,
East, West Asia, Japan, everywhere, Africa, Europe, all top notch.
I mean, you can ask yourself whether the people giving these thought lots of bling, the Tsar likes bling, or they thought this is the best of the best and we're going to give it to the Tsar. It's hard to know whether, it represents a kind of judgment on their part. But they're good, aren't they? They're really nice looking.
Unbelievable.
I
This
mean,
is really, it
and
is
you see them.
important, I think, on this channel, especially to see this type of collection, that people who are not into arms and armor understand. Guys, these are pieces of art, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, when someone says gun, people think of mechanism for shooting bullets. But when you see some of the guns in this, you think this is a work of art that shoots bullets. I mean, there's more that's gone into it. I know a lot of people that shoot or collect guns actually are looking also at the beauty of the object,
Yes,
not just how good it performed or whether it had a historical um, relevance, but that it looks good.
yes,
And they do. I mean, there's no doubt that these are very attractive looking.
yes,
They're functional.
yes,
Uh, I mean, there would be very few in there that wouldn't work.
yes,
Um, I mean, there are the thing about, unfortunately, the thing about plate armor, it has to be for you. I mean, the majority of people wearing plate armor were wearing armor that didn't fit quite right because, you joined the army. The guy says, go over there and get yourself something and try a breastplate on, whatever. But if you're a knight or a prince or a duke or whatever, your armor was made for you because you could afford it, and it fitted you perfectly.
yeah,
It's not so much the case with other types of armor. Japanese armor, that armor would have fitted people from probably the middle range of size of people up and down a few centimeters in height or whatever without any problems. It doesn't have to be a perfect fit
yes,
and the same thing from the Turkish and Persian and Mughal armor. It
yes.
didn't have to be a perfect fit,
No,
which
no,
means that
didn't have to.
um, there was much more flexibility in arming larger armies if you wanted to use armor. Not saying that armor like that Japanese armor they didn't make tens of thousands of suits like that.
No,
Uh, they that was made for a particular person and possibly in a particular style because they used to wear that 400 years ago. Yeah, I really like that. I saw one in that shrine over there. There's actually stuff in Japanese books about armor that were written at the time where people were talking about this. In fact, there's one book that's criticizing another book where it said that this guy wrote this wonderful book about ancient armors, but it's totally useless if you want the armor to work because those armors were made before guns,
yeah.
and they don't. They get quite bitchy sometimes,
Mhm.
but
Thanks a lot,
it
Pete, for
that was a lot of
taking your
fun. Thank you for
time,
that.
and hope to see you soon on this channel. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.